Good afternoon, teacher. I'm Heidi TRAUCO, and today we are going to talk about our project. Um, Next slide, please. What are rating agencies? First of all, rating agencies or credit rating agencies are private entities whose main function is to assess the credit risk of a company or financial product through a series of ratings. These evaluations are, in many cases, used in the capital market as a reference when making investment decisions. In other words, credit rating agencies are organizations specialized in assessing the credit risk of both the public sector and private companies that choose to finance themselves through the capital markets. Through their ratings, they give a measure of their solvency, and the probability of a default on their financial obligations. The ratings serve as a reference to investors in their decision as they allow them to quickly note the risk associated with them, uh, the remuneration they may demand. Also, the decision to have or not a rating is usually made by a rate company or issuer of the product. In order to obtain financing, it is a necessary conditions to have at least one or two qualifications granted by the main agencies. These are Standard and Poor's, Moody, and Fitch, the three belonging to US groups, and to carry out their ratings. The rating agencies collect the data provided by the countries or organizations that request their service and analyze each one according to their own ratings, assignment methodology, their fundamentals and behaviors in the event that certain stress scenarios will occur. Next slide, please. How do ratings level work? Ratings are notes that work with alphabetic codes according to a delimited and stable scale over time. Although they are not completely homogeneous between the different agencies, they are similar enough to be able to immediately determine the credit quality of an issuer or product. For example, the AAA rating in case of Moody's agencies represents the best credit quality with an immaterial risk of default. In addition, there is a barrier that divides rating into large groups: investment rate and speculative rate. Those risks rated below the triple B barrier, in case of Moody's, are considered to have a speculative degree and a high probability of default. Next slide.
All right, I am going to talk about rated agencies conceptualized in Peru. So to get in the subject of agencies in an entertaining and cultivating way, we have news about of the Minister of Economy and Finance of Peru about the rating agency Moody's rated Peru with a qualification of A3 for its long-term debt in foreign currency because of its resilience and fiscal strength. This rating follows the update of economic projections of Peru, where they project a growth rate of 10% in 2021. Having this information in mind, this gives us a great picture of how the Peruvian economy is seen by foreign investments, since they are the ones who receive the qualification information from the rating agencies. Although not everything is going smoothly, proof of this is that the Minister of Economy and Finance, Valgo Mendoza, said that the effects of the pandemic could affect our fiscal strength, but this 20 years of effort by all Peruvians will be safeguarded with prudent and sensible management as they work to maintain a healthy fiscal policy. So yeah, having that in mind about then we are going to talk about credit rating evolution in Peru in foreign currency on the left and in the domestic currency on the right with the Peruvian soles. As we can see, we can determine that Peru has had a positive evolution regarding its rating from 2006 to 2014, going from BB plus to A3, also with the information of the news that was mentioned above just a few moments ago. We have an idea that the credit rating for long-term debt in foreign currency in Peru is really good. And talking about the credit rating for long-term debt in the domestic currency of Peru, we have another view. We don't see the same picture. This rating goes from BBB minus on 2006 to minus A in 2013, despite a good rating in 2014 with Moody's. Peru doesn't make it as promising as with a foreign currency. We can analyze that for sure. So having that in mind, we can see how the investments will come to Peru from foreign currencies.
Okay, now teacher, I'm Diego Hurtado. I'm going to explain now the opinions and contributions that we made as a group. First of all, in this graphic, we saw that many of the rating agencies have the support of adherence to the methodology of international rating agencies, which provide support and graded support to the ratings that are granted to companies and debt instruments. Also, we can see in this graph that at the regional level, it is observed that Latin America represents only 3% of the volume of bond transactions worldwide. Making the comparison, we saw that the Europe and North America represents the 37.5% and 31.3% respectively. And next slide, please. Okay, now we're going to talk about green bonds. According to climate bonds, Peru ranks 4th place in the issuance of green bonds in Latin America and Caribbean region. Peru is just behind Brazil, Chile, and Mexico, who have a larger market for green bonds graded in 8.55x, also 5.2x, and 3x. There's a great potential for this type of bonds in Peru, considering that we were in a country that has a great diversity and that sustainable activities that can be developed that favor biodiversity and the sources that we have. It is also well known that the green bonds have a lower interest rate, which would be a saving not only for the government, but also corporate companies with lower financial expenses. The objective of this is that more investors come to Peru, to the Peruvian capital market, so they can develop. Next one, please. Okay, in this graph, we can see that there is a downward trend since 2017 with respect to corporate bonds, which may be motivated by a situation of high rates. In this sense, it is necessary for the state to provide facilities through mechanisms such as tax reduction or additional facilities so that they can continue to make their investments financed through these bonds. Next one, please. Okay, in this one, we can see that in this following graph, we can see that the majority of bonds in the country have been used in the energy sector. Therefore, in Peru, other types of activities that can be financed by bonds should be developed. As in the case in Chile, Brazil, and Colombia, without a doubt, this will not happen in the short term, but promotional measures have to be established. Next one, please. Okay, Peru is as we all know, Peru is a country that has many microclimates in which they can develop very interesting agricultural projects, and that can take advantage of the diversity of products that they have. In this way, it is essential for the agricultural activities of companies, but also small farmers. Consequently, a way in which the resources that a financial entity issues a green bond can be channeled or destined with the sole purpose of financing this activity. And as a last recommendation, we will remember that the credit agencies also look of country models and politics. And just with what is happening with the political reality of the country at the moment, and the fact that a party with a socialized profile is coming to power, it will lead to a transfiguration of our rating, which would therefore affect our rating by these rating agencies and could result in less investments and create like a snowball among these things. And also we can say that we should create initiatives that can be given directly from the state and are or would be to motivate the volume of transactions in bonds and shares to maintain the quality of the emerging markets and not to become a frontier market. But this also would limit the volume of capital that arrives from abroad. And also, as a last thing, we can add to this topic as rating agencies, we can say that a complementary would be a measure could be the reduction of the income tax of investment of this nature so that the investor is attracted. Thank you for watching, teacher. That's the end.